from Rubio, then one from Cruz, one from Rubio. But Donald Trump also gave it back.
The National Weather Service confirms an EF1 tornado touched down in Granville County, which left at least a dozen homes damaged. Some were totally destroyed in Oxford. Meteorologist Mike Moneypenny of the National Weather Service in Raleigh says an EF1 storm leaves the potential for plenty of damage.
An EF1 does produce moderate damage with stripping off roofs and overturning mobile homes and things like that, and typically indicates a wind speed of somewhere between 85 and 110 miles per hour.
A county sheriff said 4 people, including a gunman, are dead and 14 are injured after a series of shootings in south central Kansas on Thursday. There were multiple crime scenes, but the worst was inside XL Industries, where the suspect worked. Reporter Hannah Davis has more on the suspect, Cedric Ford.
We were talking to that woman, the supervisor, and she said the memory she has of Cedric Ford, he was a man that would buy people coffee if they were cold, or a cold drink in the summer if they were hot.
You're listening to NCN News.
Our state has great landmarks we all know and love, from the mountains through the Piedmont and along the way to the coast. As North Carolinians, we also know it's easy to take any of our highways and interstates to get to any of these treasures in our state that we call home. Along the way from the Piedmont to the coastal plain, there are 36 opportunities to stop at another North Carolina favorite, Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue has been focused on creating an enjoyable dining experience for their customers for over 30 years. They make it a point to strive to be the best host no matter where you're from or where you're headed. From the moment you walk through the door, you're their guest. Their staff personally delivers hot and fresh food right to your table, refills your drink, and even takes care of discarding your trash. The goal is for you to relax and enjoy the nostalgic decor, music, and of course, great food. So no matter where you live in North Carolina, chances are you will travel near one of these 36 Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue locations. Visit scnbnc.com for locations across the state.
Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue.
Get driving power and productivity with a Kubota Innovative RTV 900XT from Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. It takes real muscle to manage your livestock and property, and the right utility vehicle can make all the difference. The Kubota RTV 900XT is engineered for day in and day out durability with a reliable 21.6 horsepower diesel engine, an optional hydraulic lift bed, and 4-wheel drive. See it today at Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain.
Are you fishing for money? Then make the big catch at Basic Finance in Shelby. Lure in some money with a loan from Basic Finance in Shelby. Basic Finance is behind you with the money you need. Give them a call at 704-481-0111 or drop by their new location, 306 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, across from Shelby High School. Basic Finance in Shelby. Remember, golf on Saturday, church on Sunday.
Now you can lease a new 2015 Kia Optima for only $59 per month. You heard $59 per month at Renato Kia at Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Come on in for all the details. Or lease a 2016 Honda HR-V EX for $244 per month. And take $5,000 off select 2015 GMC Sierra double cab trucks and 2016 Buick LaCrosse Premiums, plus 0% financing on all GMC Acadias at Renato Auto Mall, Highway 74 East in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. Have you got tax money coming back? Then it's time for a new ride from the Car Store in Cherryville. Drop by and see Rick and Justin today. The Car Store features on-the-lot financing, plus a great selection to choose from. See their entire lineup at thecarstorecherryville.com. But they do more, like a full-service service department, from an oil change to inspections, plus new and used tires and wheels too. That's the Car Store, 1801 Lincoln and Highway, 150 East in Cherryville. Serving this area for over 23 years. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 6. Just call 704-435-1988 for the Car Store in Cherryville.
Looks like we're in for a partly sunny and breezy day as we close out this work week. It'll be a bit on the chilly side with highs in the upper 40s to low 50s. Then tonight, looks like it'll be variably cloudy and cold with lows in the upper 20s. Then on Saturday, mostly sunny and just slightly milder with highs in the low to mid 50s. But the real warming comes in on Sunday when temperatures are likely to rocket into the 60s. I'm Greg Fischel in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big O Country Studios, it's 10:08 and the temperature is 43 degrees.
Your American Standard heated and air conditioning dealer is Bill Shuford Heated and Air in Shelby. Your comfort is their concern. They provide installation, repair, and inspections, and emergency service calls are available. They have been serving the area since 1983, giving their customers home comfort solutions and industry expertise that you can rely on. With American Standard products, call Bill Shuford Heated and Air, 704-484-0025. Located at 217 Campbell Street in Shelby and online at BillShufordHVAC.com. It's time to get into the new sales event at Crossroads Ford in Shelby with 0% financing for 60 months and an extra $2,000. This offer good on the 2016 Ford Escape, the 2016 Ford Fusion, the 2016 Ford Focus, and the 2015 Ford Focus. 0% financing for 60 months and an extra $2,000. Plus 4,000 pre-owned vehicles only minutes away at Crossroads Ford. 1775 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at crossroadsofshelby.com.
Hi, this is Milton Baker from Memory Lane Antiques and Finds in downtown Krause beside the post office. We're celebrating the Easter season with some special giveaways. Come on in. We've got a basket full of Easter eggs. Come on in. Take a guess at how many eggs you think are in the Easter basket. Closest wins a prize. That will be given away just before Easter. And we've got other great things at Memory Lane Antiques and Finds, including some original artwork by Crystal Huss. Crystal is a very talented painter, and she's painted palettes. She's painted on all types of surfaces, all types of landscapes and other scenes. You'll love Crystal's artwork. We've got antiques and collectibles coming in every day and other finds as well. It's Memory Lane Antiques and Finds in downtown Krause. Open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 3, phone 704-473-2794.
Hi, I'm Greg McIntyre, the elder law guy with McIntyre Elder Law, located at Uptown Shelby, 123 West Marion Street, where we help seniors protect their assets and legacies. Have you taken steps to protect your hard-earned money and property? Do you know the dangers that lie ahead for seniors? We do. I am passionate about helping seniors protect their hard-earned money and property. As a gift to you and a thanks for listening, anyone who calls our office with the code word Big O Country will get a free 1-hour consult with me, the elder law guy, Greg McIntyre. Thanks for listening.
It's the Get Ready for Spring Savings Sale at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, located at 110 Griggs Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Right now, get 0% financing on select models with name brands like Bobcat, Ferris, Snapper, Walker, and Big Dog Mowers. And it's time to get your mowers serviced. Pickup and delivery is available by calling 704-482-5002. Don't miss the Get Ready for Spring Savings Sale at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment, 110 Griggs Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
Airgas National Welders offers total support to the metalworking and fabrication industries with a full range of products and services. You'll find gas equipment, arc equipment, filler metals, safety equipment, construction supplies, welding machines, generators, and more. Airgas offers products from industry leaders such as Miller Electric, Lincoln Electric, Hybertherm, Victor, ESAB, Smith, Milwaukee, Metabo, and Carhartt. Come on in today and discuss your next project with the experienced staff at Airgas. The right products, the right locations, the right expertise. You'll find it all at Airgas National Welders. For more information, call 1-800-866-4422 to find the store nearest you, or visit the website at airgas.com.
Now you can earn 1,000 points for every night you stay at the Hampton Inn. It's part of the Hampton Inn's Grand Nights promotion. Your points will add up to unforgettable experiences. Find out more by visiting your nearest Hampton Inn. You'll always come back with a tale to share. Start turning points into stories worth sharing. Visit the Hampton Inn on Remount Road in Gastonia and start earning your points today.
Hey, if you have chickens, or maybe you want chickens, then listen up. B&B Buildings in Shelby and Cherryville now has chicken coops. Get yours today and you may have eggs tomorrow. And remember, B&B Buildings has those hickory storage buildings and only 5% down will deliver. And you can even rent to own your own storage building from B&B Buildings. Plus, repos and factory price reductions are available. B&B Buildings, Highway 150 East in Cherryville and Highway 74 Bypass East in Shelby below the Cleveland Mall. Now with chicken coops. It's time to get into the new sales event at Crossroads Ford in Shelby with 0% financing for 60 months and an extra $2,000. This offer good on the 2016 Ford Escape, the 2016 Ford Fusion, the 2016 Ford Focus, and the 2015 Ford Focus. 0% financing for 60 months and an extra $2,000. Plus 4,000 pre-owned vehicles only minutes away at Crossroads Ford. 1775 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at crossroadsofshelby.com. Before you plan your vacation, plan a visit to Country Camping Corner on Oak Grove Road between Shelby and Kings Mountain. Whether you're heading to the beach or to the mountains, Country Camping Corner has the right recreational vehicle for you. Campers, pop-ups, fifth wheels, all you need for your next vacation experience. Country Camping Corner at the Oak Grove Road Highway 74 bypass intersection between Shelby and Kings Mountain. Open Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30. Saturdays, 8:30 to 4. That's Country Camping Corner, Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain.
Good morning. It's time for this week's Elder Law Report for this Friday, February 26, 2016. I'm Milton Baker, and my pleasure to introduce the host of today's show, as he is each week, Mr. Greg McIntyre, and co-host Hayden Soloway. So we'll send it to the big studio where you can watch on our studio camera at ktcbroadcasting.com or listen here on the radio. Good morning, folks, and it's yours to take now.
Okay. Good morning. This is Greg McIntyre, the Elder Law guy with McIntyre Elder Law, here for the Elder Law Report. I so enjoy doing this show every single week, and it's good to be back to you live this week, coming from KTC Broadcasting, Big O Country, into your living room or on your porch drinking coffee with us. Hayden was just saying this morning how she just so thoroughly enjoys meeting the people that listen to the show, that everywhere we go we have people coming up that they listen to the show. And I'm just, the fact that anybody wants to listen to anything I have to say amazes me, and I love it. So thank you for hanging in there. I know you want to listen to Hayden, and I know you want to listen to John Yurchek. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh, no.
Hayden, I'm falling. Help me up.
I'll always help you, Greg.
Will you help me?
Yeah.
But that's a big deal, isn't it? We all know that from the, what is it, Lifeline or Life Alert things that back in the day?
Right.
Those commercials. But we're going to talk about falls today. Falls are a big deal. Don't fall. Falls can put you in a nursing home. Falls can keep you from keeping an active and healthy lifestyle. And I cannot wait to introduce and get into the meat of our topic this morning, which is don't fall. Avoid falls as seniors and strategies to do that, how they can affect you, and why it's just so important to stay active and ambulatory as you age. Ambulatory means walking around, right? And even more than that. And I think John just has some unique insight. He's with Healthy at Home and has just a great history in physical therapy and senior health care, and we'll get into his story shortly. But first, it's time for Hayden's Corner. No one puts Hayden in the corner except for the Elder Law Report. So Hayden, what's going on today?
Well, I looked for happy news. I Googled what happy news today and things like this and find things of interest. But all I could find was politics. I'm just about up to here. You can't see, but way up to here.
Up to
with
where?
Politics. Just barely breathing.
You're boiling over with politics.
Yes, and
so are you saying we
fighting.
are or we are not talking about politics?
We're not talking about. I'm not allowed to talk about politics.
Okay, we're not. Oh,
that's right.
Have you been barred from talking about politics?
Yes.
Okay.
And
let's just
for
say
good reason.
It's been an interesting. I mean, I watched a little bit of that debate last night, and I thought there was going to be a brawl on stage at one point.
Oh,
I wanted them to just have a wrestling. I think we should have a wrestling match and see who wins.
I know it's almost embarrassing the way they go at each
other. Is it? I think it's awesome.
To me.
I know. I hear people say that.
But you love to watch a good fight.
Oh man, I get into it. And look at the history of our country. and how politics were way back when, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It's always been this way. In fact, it was nastier. Didn't we have a
duels?
Didn't we have a president killed in a duel?
Yeah.
Aaron Burr?
He wasn't a president.
Whatever. A political figure killed in a duel?
I think it was
What
probably
was he?
over politics. I don't know.
Anyway.
I just memorized the presidents, and he wasn't on my list.
Fine, Hayden. All right, Hayden's here to keep me in check this morning.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's run for president, Hayden.
Well, I told you, Greg, I'd support you in office. You're more of a libertarian than I am.
Okay, I don't know, but what does that mean?
Well,
I'm a little bit
pretty
of
much
of everything.
Pretty much, you think people ought to be able to make their own decisions.
Yes, I do.
And be responsible for themselves.
Power to the people. I'm very much power to the people.
Yeah, but as far as politically, you're very much whoever the person is. You base your opinion on who that person is, which is a good way to go.
Okay. So I'm running for president. Please vote for Greg McIntyre. Don't even vote for me. Vote for the Elder Law Report. Just write us in on the ballot. How about that?
Yeah.
Anything else, Tate?
Well, I usually have my 3 to 5 minutes talk, and I think I'd like to devote my time to John. I have heard him speak, and I have parents, and we're working on fixing their floors and doing some things there to make it safe for them, because none of us want to lose my parents. They're the greatest ever, and my kids and grandkids love them. So I want to hear everything he has to say. So can I defer my 3 minutes to John?
Can you, in the speaking politics, can you cede
thank you,
your time?
Yes.
To
I'd like
the
to cede my
gentleman
son to the
on my
gentleman
right.
on your right.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that. So again, John, your check is in the mail. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay.
And Hayden, those are kind words. Thank you for ceding your time to me today.
All right. So John, what's your background? Why should we listen to what you have to say about Falls?
So my background is in physical therapy. I have a master's degree in physical therapy and have been practicing for the past 17 years, mostly in the home health, senior care, geriatric population. And recently, within the past 2 years, I'm now the rehab director for Healthy at Home. That's our organization with 8 branches over about 20 counties here in the Piedmont of North Carolina. And my responsibility is some program development, evidence-based research programs, so we can provide the best possible care to our patients at home.
Okay, that's interesting. And so, what brings you to Western North Carolina? And are you from this area to begin with?
I grew up in Maryland, actually.
Okay.
And went to school in northeastern Pennsylvania, where I met my wife from New York. And I thought I enjoyed the cold weather, skiing, until I went up to upstate New York, and then we beat a path down to North Carolina as quick as we could.
You ran to North Carolina. Okay.
That's right. So actually, I got my start in Shelby, and ran a small clinic in Shelby, and began what was Cleveland Home Health at the time, and seeing some patients for Cleveland Home Health, and found that I just loved home health and the individual care that we could provide patients in a very unique setting in their own home. So once I found that and did that part-time, I took it on full-time and worked for Cleveland Home Health for about 5 years, and then transitioned to the Charlotte market, and had been there for about 10 years with Charlotte Home Care through the Carolinas Healthcare System.
Through Carolinas Healthcare. Okay. Very, very. You guys have a few resources over there at Carolinas Healthcare?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We're over 50,000 teammates strong. Have deep resources to draw upon, whether it's our physicians, our Carolinas Rehab Network, continuing care, or hospitals. So we really do have fantastic resources for our patients. And our saying is patients first always, and I think we all of our teammates truly believe that.
Well, good, great. And right now, your primary job responsibilities for Healthy at Home, correct?
Yes.
What are those?
So primarily, I'm in charge of making sure we have standard evidence-based, research-based practice across our therapists, whether that's the physical therapist, occupational therapist, or speech therapist, that we're really looking at current research, evidence, and making sure we have the most current, up-to-date programs that we can have instead of 125 independent practitioners over 20 counties, that we can provide the same level of service and care to every patient no matter where they might live.
Absolutely. And delivering in-home services, as you touched on, I think is much the wave of the future. I have worked with people in the home healthcare industry for a long time now, and it's amazing, even ICU level care that can be delivered right in someone's living room right now. And going where someone's comfortable, that's just extremely important, and thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you, Greg, and I would agree with you. That's the wave of the future is in the home. What we can do now, whether that's IV infusions in the home, we have telemonitors that can monitor people's vital signs remotely and have a nurse be watching them even when we're not visiting, telehealth, those types of different things that leveraging that technology to provide more and more services in the home is the wave of the future.
Okay. Just to update, I just got handed something from Milton, just to interject. Milton, what did you just hand me?
A little history information there, Greg.
Are you giving me a history lesson this morning?
I gave you 15 pages on the Aaron Burr Alexander Hamilton.
It was Alexander Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
The Aaron Burr Alexander Hamilton duel.
Now
that's a way to solve a political dispute or a dispute. Is let's go shoot it out on the front lawn. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you. Maybe we'll have you give an update on that situation shortly. Okay. If you can be ready for that shortly. Can you do that for me?
An update as to
just give us a little background on it and what happened, so we can clarify that.
Okay.
I always like to clear up my mistakes, and I like to learn a little something in the process. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll be ready.
Thank you, Milton. I appreciate that. Okay. And back to John Yurchek, in talking about falls and focusing on falls. Falls for me, I learned that they were extremely important in doing research like Milton is doing right now. And because I was looking into senior living facilities and communities, I was looking into specifically Crystal Springs, which is a local development. Don Peeler, I think, Hayden, does that development or is the developer there, across from the Senior Center in Shelby, North Carolina, Crystal Springs. They have townhouses there that are flat entirely. And it just amazed me at the technology and the thought that goes into making a senior independent living house, okay, that you can buy from front porch to patio that is flat. That is a no-step community is what they're called. No-step community. And it's not senior living. It's called active older adult, actually. They don't like that term senior living, that it's an active older adult, and it's meant to keep everyone extremely active as they age. Aging in place is something you referred to, which is also something that's new that we're going to talk about, or a newer term with construction that we're going to talk about. And the longer you can stay active, even lips go in the front door or between rooms that are little raises, differences in elevation of the floor levels. Those things can trip you up literally and put you on a couch or a hospital bed or in a nursing home for an extended period of time. A broken hip can do that. A concussion can do that. And I know we're going to let the expert, John Yurchek, tell us a little bit more about that now.
Well, Greg, it doesn't take much at all. The Americans Disability Act defines a trip hazard of a 1/4 inch. That's all it takes. So we're talking about an eraser head on the end of a pencil, just something that. Even the door jams, getting rid of those, it can be as simple as going from a kitchen floor to a carpeted surface with a thick nap of carpet. So it doesn't take much to catch that foot. An architectural assessment, having someone look at that environment and make recommendations is really important. Even when you have the construction that has been set up to have everything the way it should be, and as you said, aging in place. But if people go in and end up putting throw rugs down or different kind of decor, they could be setting themselves up for a trip or a fall without even knowing it.
I probably trip and fall on a daily basis. Okay, just or over my words, or make a mistake, whatever. Hayden's mad at me right now over the Aaron Burr thing. We're gonna clear that up. But why is it important? Why is it so important as a senior? Okay, as you age, to avoid a trip or a fall? How can that affect you?
Well, first thing is I'd like to say that falling is not a normal part of aging. I think some people just feel that, well, I reached a certain age, this is just normal. And I would just say that it's not, that we can't be apathetic to this cause. And if you do get injured, especially a fractured hip, the mortality rate of that is extremely high, even within the first year. So the prevention is the best cure for that, is not falling in the first place. A statistic that comes to mind that really opened my eyes is senior adults, those 65 years of age or older, are 16 times more likely to end up admitted to the ER or hospital than those younger from a car accident. So you think of all the different types of things we do to motor vehicles, from airbags and seat belts and speed limits, and now the cars even direct themselves if you veer off the road. So we do all those things to protect ourselves from injury and hospitalization from a wreck, but what are we doing for our seniors when they're 16 times more likely to be injured and hospitalized from a fall?
And what can we do? What can we do to just make sure that we can never make sure, but we can minimize, we can put those seat belts and airbags in our life so we can still live a full life, but stay healthy and avoid those broken hips.
Absolutely. And the environment, the architecture is certainly a big component of that, as you touched on. But there are a lot of other risk factors that we look at. So when we're talking about falls, there's two categories: your modifiable risk factors and your non-modifiable. So non-modifiable may be your age, it may be your race, your cognitive level. You can't change those types of things. But what we can do is look at those modifiable risk factors. So there's going to be muscle weakness, especially lower extremity muscle weakness. What we call polypharmacy. So that's taking 4 more medications at one time. Visual deficits. Has your eye prescription been updated within the last year? And vision is so important as it relates to falls. So those types of things, environment, postural hypotension, if your blood pressure is dropping when you stand up, and also any medical history that might be important, including symptoms of depression. A diagnosis of depression actually raises your fall risk by 50%, just the diagnosis in itself. And that doesn't include some of the symptoms of depression that you may become sedentary and inactive, and that leads to weakness down the road.
That was a lot of information. And that is, I want to go back and visit that a little bit.
Sure.
You talked about modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors and polypharmacy, a couple of just, and visual deficits. So those things, let's talk about visual deficits first. Obviously, to be able to see your obstacles and your hazards, or to see the change in the floor elevation, is extremely important. What are some of the things we can do to deal with that or to cope with that? I mean, we talked about, you said that even the color of carpet is extremely important.
Sure.
And why is that?
Well, as we age, sometimes we have difficulty seeing contrasts. So if everything in your house is white, you may not see that door jamb or the lip of the stair. You can't see the depth perception may not be there. So a simple solution that we have is a lot of our therapists carry that high glow neon duct tape. And they'll put little tape along the edges of those raises, whether it's a door jamb or stair. Our occupational therapists, if you think about your microwave at home, and this isn't necessarily falls, but everything's gray on white. It's very difficult to see those numbers on a microwave, so they will highlight those numbers so that our patients can see to use their microwave better. As far as vision and falls, you really have 3 different systems in your body to keep you from falling. One is your nervous system. It's going to tell you where your body is in space. The other is your equilibrium, your inner ear. And the third is your vision. So if you can't see, you've already taken a third of your compensation techniques for balance away. So keeping lights on at nighttime and night light, making sure your eyeglasses are up to their prescription, or at least even putting them on. A lot of people get up in the middle of the night and not bother with their glasses, and then they can't see those things that they did during the daytime. So vision has a huge impact on balance. As a physical therapist, a lot of what I do is work on strengthening, but that's not all we're talking about with falls. We had a patient who kept falling the exact same time every day. And we just could not figure it out. We were working on these exercises, strengthening balance. So we called our occupational therapist teammate in, and they were able to discern that this patient was making her cup of tea in the afternoon at the same time. And it just so happens the sun was coming in through the window and shining off some stainless steel appliances and causing a glare. The occupational therapist shut the blinds and the fall stopped. So sometimes it's thinking outside the box and using those resources that we have and looking things a little bit different from the perspective of a different discipline, not necessarily just strength and exercise all the time.
Can I ask a question? Are there people who will come out and look at a senior's home and make suggestions about how to arrange
I was just thinking about that.
the furniture and things like that? Yes. Are there people who do this?
So I can tell you, from a home health perspective, it's something we do for every single patient. It's part of our admission or our evaluation process. To qualify for something like that, you have to be considered homebound. It's got to be difficult for you to leave the home, and there's regulations regarding that type of thing. If you're not homebound, I'm not aware of a specific organization that would do that and do a home assessment. It usually is done by a physical or occupational therapist, so I'm not sure of an outpatient department that might come out, or if there's a local agency that does that sort of thing.
I just imagine an entire new industry that is a need that needs to be filled, a problem that needs to be solved. There should be, if you're a senior out there listening and you've got a son or daughter who has a passion for working with seniors, from construction, remodeling to assessments, you need to take assessment of that. So let's go. And that'd be a great thing if we could have someone, and we'll look for that. Let's look for that, Hayden. If you'll make a note, let's see if there's somebody out there that we can follow up and give some information that could come out and make some recommendations along those lines, okay?
Right. Because my aunt and uncle both had falls recently. He caused her fall because she was trying to pick him up because he fell and broke his hip and his arm. If she broke her arm, my parents both have had, my mother has had 2 falls. So they're not homebound. They do have trouble getting in and out, but that's a need. It really is.
I agree with you. I think there's a big gap, and 75% of the falls happen at home. So that's the best place to really do that assessment. And even if they fell and go to the ER, a lot of times they're discharged home and follow back up with their physician, but no one's really looking at what's happening in that environment where the fall happened in the first place.
But an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, a neat little saying, but also the truth. And, looking at preventative steps, that would be amazing, and should be your slogan if you start doing that job. So 3 things that can help your vision. And remember, with visual deficits, I'm just going to recap briefly. There are 3 systems that play. With falls, there are 3 systems that play with your balance, with avoiding falls, and that's the nervous system, your equilibrium, and your vision. So if your vision goes or is degraded, that's a third of your ability to deal with walking and not falling, okay? And 3 things, we're on 3s today, can help you avoid falling and help with your vision. That's 1, night lights. Don't get up and have a dark house, get out of bed and try to make it to the bathroom or to the kitchen. Have a night light in place that will guide your path. Vision. Make sure that your glasses, you're up to date. It's the right prescription, so see your eye doctor or have your vision checked regularly. And then tweaks to your environment. And that's what we were hitting on toward the end there. Consult an expert. I bet you could call Healthy at Home and they would help you with some tips and tricks, and we'll work on that. If someone needed your services, someone needed help with rehabilitation, or just had questions on, hey, how can I avoid falls? How can we make our environment safer? And just wanted to hear you. Maybe we could even organize a seminar for you full of people just from that have this need and need to hear you talk. How would they get in touch with you, John?
Sure. Well, I guess there's two answers to that. One, if they needed our services, it has to be from a physician referral. So
Absolutely.
whether they're the hospital, if they're in the hospital, that would be taken care on that level. If they're seeing their primary care physician, they could discuss those options with him or her. And really, like I mentioned, there's certain regulations to be qualified for home health by insurance plans. So the physician would know if they would qualify or not, and then they could make the referral to home health. As far as just getting in touch with me, you could reach me at my office. That's 704-591-9287. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that I can or point you in the right direction.
John, you've got a book here, and you gave me first time I ever heard you speak, and I was going through the book as fast as I can, trying to absorb everything. And thank you for my copy of this. Is this available anywhere?
What's the name of that book?
The name of it is The Better Balanced Patient Handbook, and it has page after page and chapter after chapter, and there are lists here of what you don't know. You know, my favorite thing is you don't know what you don't know. And these are checklists of things like, did you know this? And it's just unbelievable, just the information that's just on those things alone.
Sure.
Can people get this, or?
That is really one of those standardized programs, those evidence-based programs that I had referenced earlier. So it's not just for necessarily public consumption. It really has needs to have a therapist kind of lead the way.
Okay.
We do certain tests to test for mobility, for balance, for strength, and that's how we guide the plan after that. Mm-hmm. So to really participate in that Better Balance program or have that patient handbook, it really needs to be through the physical therapist. But as far as the Did You Know sections, like you mentioned, it's got some interesting tidbits in there. And
really?
Just a couple of my favorites. We talked about medications or polypharmacy, that multiple medications. And I think the most interesting one there is sedating over-the-counter medications. So that's anything with the PM in it, and it's basically Benadryl. That's sedating medicine. You'll reduce your fall risk by 66% if you stop taking those or reduce taking those. What people don't understand is they'll take those maybe at 10 o'clock at night to help them fall asleep, and then maybe at midnight they've got to get up and use the restroom. Well, they're still sedated. You know, that's going to act for 4 to 6 hours. So now they're sedated and trying to get up in the dark and end up falling.
I had wondered if maybe the depression diagnosis had something to do, the fall risk goes up 50%, with perhaps medications that can flow from a diagnosis for depression. I don't know.
So that's a
that
touchy
went through my mind.
That's a touchy subject, and
Sure.
I'll leave that to the physicians to
We'll let them
really weigh
discuss that further.
the risk benefit, because a lot of medicines have side effects. Well, all medicines have side effects,
Sure.
and you really have to decide what's most beneficial for that individual. So I think that's outside my scope of practice to determine those kind of things. But physicians, certainly taking your medications to your physician and reviewing them regularly and asking questions, I think is the most beneficial when you're talking about that.
Cost benefit analysis maybe with your physician on the pros and cons, and just so you know.
Absolutely.
So you know what you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right. My lovely daughter-in-law is a pharmacist and the pharmacy manager at a local Ingalls. And she's really helped me a lot by telling me things that are, factors. One thing, memory loss. I've, learned a little bit about that because I noticed I wasn't remembering as well. And she helped me with that, and I think it's going to make a difference. But I wanted to ask you about something. We don't have enough time. We could sit here with you
We can do
for
two
hours
shows
easily.
In fact, I'm going to call this part 1. We'll try to follow
Okay.
up with a part 2. We
I
do
hope you will.
encores with our guests regularly. Plus, stay tuned. You can go to, we're live on Periscope right now. If you're
Mm-hmm.
listening, at Lawyer Greg, just go to our Twitter feed, click in there. and you can pop open the Periscope and watch a video of it. We're going to have the after party afterwards. John, can you hang out and talk to us a little bit after the show?
Sure, absolutely.
We'll go through some of those things, and you know what? That might develop into a part 2 of the radio show. We'll follow up on falls. Hate to cut you off there. Please finish or continue, Hayden. And I because I have so many questions on. So, what are the results of the falls? How does it decrease quality of life? I think I know the common sense answers, but I think John probably has a lot better insight to that.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned, and it has made a difference in my father's life, you talked about how inactivity decreases your strength. Mm-hmm. My father was in the hospital for 6 days and never left the bed. Mm-hmm. They would not allow him to get up, and he wanted to get up. And I guess it was fear of him falling in the hospital and there being a liability issue. But after I heard you, the next time, and he's been through this same thing 3 times. It's not a result of fall. It's a result of all of a sudden memory loss. Mm-hmm. Just he can't finish sentences. After that first time, I told my sister who admitted him, tell them to get him out of bed. Don't let him remain in the bed, because he became almost in a fetal position after the 6 days. Sure. He got to rehab in van. So inactivity, do you have any percentages and how it decreases your strength?
Sure. It's been said that for every day you spend in bed, in the hospital bed, you lose 5% of your strength. Mm-hmm. So in your father's father-in-law,
Not my father.
Your father. In your father's case, 6 days in the hospital would reduce his strength by 30%. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't even take into consideration any of the medical problems that might have been associated with that hospitalization. So you can certainly come home from that in a severely weakened condition that's going to set you up for falls.
Well, that made a difference because he had a very short stay the next time.
Thank you so much, Hayden, for co-hosting today and for the great interaction and for hosting, keeping me straight today. Thank you, John, for coming in. John, with Healthy at Home. John Yurchek, like paycheck, get your paycheck. Call John Yurchek. And just great information about how to avoid falls and how it affects seniors. I would like to have you back for a part 2. You okay with that?
Absolutely, Greg.
That'd be great. Let's do it. We'll organize it. And this has been the Elder Law Report. But before we leave, Milton, set me straight.
All right, you want all the information I can give you on the Burr-Hamilton duel?
All we have time for.
There's a lot, but I'll do a quick little synopsis of it. The Burr-Hamilton duel was, of course, between 2 prominent American politicians, the former Secretary of the Treasury, Alexander Hamilton, and sitting Vice President Aaron Burr on July 11th, 1804. The duel was the culmination of a long and bitter rivalry between the 2 men. At Weehawken, New Jersey, Burr shot and mortally wounded Hamilton. Hamilton was carried to the home of William Bayard on the Manhattan shore, where he died the next day. Now, there's a lot of reasons why the 2 men didn't like each other, and I won't go into all of that, but it's still discussed to this day, still a popular topic of conversation. And in 2004, for the duel's bicentennial anniversary, kin of Burr and Hamilton held a reenactment of the famous duel near the Hudson River. In the reenactment, Douglas Hamilton, 5th great-grandson of Alexander Hamilton, faced Antonio Burr, a descendant of Aaron Burr's cousin. More than 1,000 people attended the reenactment, including an estimated 60 descendants of Hamilton and 40 members of the Aaron Burr Association.
That is a very good history lesson. You never know what you're going to get on the McIntyre the Elder Law Report. And Milton, you know what?
Yes, sir.
How dare you correct me? I challenge you to a duel.
Bang, bang, bang.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Can I say one thing? One of my ancestors fought in the last legal duel in the state of North Carolina and lost.
Yeah. Okay.
And lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be the loser of that election.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Milton.
Okay.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Hayden. Tune in next week where we're going to have a hot topic next week. I'm going to interview the world-renowned expert, Teepa Snow, on dementia and Alzheimer's. It's amazing what she has to say. I cannot wait for it. Check out the after party on mcelderlaw.com on our webpage. Click on the Elder Law TV link. That'll be up later today, okay? Thanks, Milton.
All right.
Until next week.
Thank you, Milton.
You're welcome. And that is the Elder Law Report for today. It's Friday, February 26, 2016. And we hope you enjoyed the program. Join us again next time.